Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Gurnani. I am one of the co-founders of Radius Agent. We are an online community and online brokerage for real estate agents. Our mission is to empower agents. We are hosting talks with experts in the field every other Tuesday. Today's talk is on 7 keys to client retention. I think this can't be said enough how important for retention is over and above all the new leads that you're generating, especially in a market like now. So I'm going to kick off this event. I will first start by introducing Michael. Michael is our Executive Director of Brokerage Expansion here at Radius Agent Realty. He's going to take you through his background and what Realty is doing, and then he's going to welcome on Camilla. Take it away, Michael.
Awesome. Thank you, Sonia, for the introduction. Always get embarrassed when I see a big picture of myself. So a little bit about myself, you guys. I am a Bay Area native and a Navy veteran as well. Back in the days, I own a brokerage, a franchise, and I've been a team leader as well. Currently, I'm the president for NAREP, which is Latino real estate organization here in the Bay Area. And also I host a real estate podcast. So I've been doing all this for 17 years. Reason I love sharing my knowledge and whatever experience I have to my real estate community here. So before we begin, I just want to talk a little bit about Radius. Since we're hosting this event, I want to give that evolution, how we came about and what we are. So there's about 3 components to Radius. The first component is our Radius Agent platform. So this is our social media platform. The intent for this was basically to have a real estate social media platform similar to LinkedIn, but just real estate professionals. So you see here, a lot of people just ask questions. This one here has to do with appraisal shortfall in California. People send referrals, Mother's Day, so on and so forth. So this was doing really, really well. I believe now we have over 60,000 people attached to this platform. From there, we created what's called Radius Assist. And what this does, this actually helps our realtors get phone calls to their leads. So a lot of us get a lot of leads, especially nowadays, we're super busy. But you see here, this is an example of my Radius Assist. And as you see here, I was able to save over 700 hours. And this is how many people they disqualified. 333. They're currently contacting about 200 people right now, and they qualified about 71. So as you see here with Radius, again, starting off with a social media platform, starting off with Radius Assist, and now we're here starting off with our brokerage. So now that we have a brokerage that we started here in 2020, the mindset of the brokerage basically was these 5 pillars. One is, how can we help brand the agent? That was a really good thing that we wanted to come up with. We feel like we're more of a plug and play real estate company where you're powered by Radius and you can represent yourself. The other thing is social media. We know how huge that is for individuals. Right now we're on the social media platform. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook. And also we have a social media platform ourselves. So we want to take that out of agents' hands and really manage their social media for them. On top of that, the last 3 things we talked about was mentorship, because we know support is super important, especially in a virtual world. We're used to the brick and mortar, but nowadays we're working from home. So we want to ensure we provided right support in regards to the mentorship and compliance for our agents. And last but not least is leads. We don't provide deals, but we provide opportunities so you can have a deal, and that's through our lead platform as well. And last but not least, we have technology. So with that, so today's whole theme today is our vendors. We're going to highlight our vendors today. Camilla's going to come in. She's with Cutco Business 360, and she's going to talk about the ways that we can get business through our current clients. So by doing this, as you see here, we definitely partner with great vendors. Not only Camilla, we partner with people here in the local area in regards to your headshots, your listing, video tours, so on and so forth. Also, these are the platforms that we partner with in regards to leads. So we partner with Radius Agent itself. We also do Google ads and Facebook ads. We are working with Zillow at the moment to get our Flex program in certain areas going. And then we also work with Opcity in regards to leads. So again, us partnering up with these companies is essential for us as a company to ensure that we provide opportunity for our real estate agents. The second thing is that we want to do is ensure that we partner with top technology platforms. We decided to take a different route in regards to technology and rather partner with top real estate companies. So all you guys are familiar with KB Core. I call KB Core like the Lamborghini of CRMs for real estate. It has it all. So we definitely partner with one of the best. High Note probably is bar none the best presentation out there for agents. And you see here a lot of similar products with SkySlope, RentSpree, Zip Forms, so on and so forth. So again, we do a lot of partnering with our vendors, with our technology people, and also with our leads as well. So again, we are a modern brokerage that puts you first. So if you guys have any questions about Radius Agent or thinking about, coming over to our company, my information is right here as well. So now that I mentioned a bit about Radius, I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, right? So I decided to come up with 2 quotes for you guys. The first quote was, your relationship with the client is worth more than the product or service that's being sold to the client. Okay, a lot of us, yeah, we definitely work hard for our clients, that's for sure. But remember, we're not the ones putting 20% down. We're not the ones getting our credit check. We're not the ones having to pay all these fees. They are. So we definitely need to have a great experience for them, not only during the transaction, but after the transaction, right? And I'll leave with this last quote before I introduce Camilla. Building a good customer experience doesn't have to be by accident. It happens by design. So think about it in that way, right? In order for you to have a great customer service, you need to design that. And how we're going to design great customer services? Well, we're going to talk to a person named Camilla. She is the area director for 360 Business Growth. She's originally from Colombia. Shout out to Colombia right now. I know that country's going through a lot, so prayers and blessings to Colombia. She is a certified life coach, long-term branding, client retention expert, and a strategic gifter. Think about that. Like, she gives gifts strategically. People like me go to a card shop, pick the first thank you card and move on. But she's going to tell us that that's not the case that we should do here. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Camilla, please come on and feel free to share your screen as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. It's really funny. Yeah, it's always funny. I get so many questions on strategic gifter. What does that mean? So it's funny to lead with that. Good morning, everybody. I hope that everybody is ready to go with coffee in hand, water, Gatorade, whatever it is, it's going to keep you hydrated and keep you focused. As Michael mentioned, my name is Camilla Arenudo. I am with 360 Business Growth. I'm really pumped to be teaching this class today as we go into the really busy, super crazy season of this year specifically. This is really timely. And I first off just want to start off by thanking all of you for being here today. I know that you could be doing literally anything with your life, not on another webinar, but you decided to be here and leveling up your business. So know that I appreciate and I definitely recognize that. So I definitely don't believe in just talking at you. I will be telling you as we go to put things into chat to say, yes, like you heard me, to make sure that you're ready. So let's practice it out. We're going to try it right now. If you're ready to learn, go ahead and type yes in the chat. I'm just going to make sure everybody is here. Cool. I see yes is coming through. Awesome. Cool. So I want to start today by talking about the difference between a customer and a client. And Michael alluded to this with a quote that he shared, but I want y'all to think about the fact that in our industry, we have the product is obviously the houses that are being sold. Yeah. And so when you think about it, what's the difference between a customer and a client? We hear it a ton in our industry, focus on your clients, think about your clients. We never use the word customer. And why is that? Well, when you look at the dictionary, if you look it up, a customer is someone who buys a good or a service. A client is someone who invests in a professional or in services from a professional. So as it relates to real estate, the customer is someone who just walks in, does a transaction with you, you shake hands at the closing table. Okay, great. Adios, amigo. And that's it. That's the end of the relationship. A client is someone who's there not just for what's being done in business, but also for the person that they're doing it with. That's the client. I think about this through, the goal is to build long-term client relationships. And the problem is that a lot of us, unfortunately, have a habit of building customer relationships instead. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but who's Camilla? Like, why is she qualified to talk about all these things? Well, to give you some background on 360, last year we did about $1 million in business. This year we'll do two, just my small team specifically in 360. And for some of you, you're like, okay, but I have transactions that size. Not impressive at all. That's not what I want you to hone in on. What's impressive about that number, the $1 million number, the $2 million number, is that the vast majority of that, 50, 60, and actually over 65% of our business is repeat business with our existing clients. So that means that 35% of our business is new and 65% is coming from people that already know us, already trust us, right? And it's about being interested in creating a business that's over 50% referral and over 50% repeat, right? But before we get into that, I think it's really important to start with the why. So I want to talk through this with y'all. I want you all to focus that in this business and in this industry, if you want to build long-term client relationships, you have to be more in love with your clients than you are with your business. Yes, we're in real estate. Yes, it's a numbers game, 100%. I hear you on that. However, at the same time, your job is to be a detective, right? You want to treat every person that you interact with as if they have a sign around their neck that says, make me feel important. Okay. And that's a great quote by Mary Kay Ash that I love it a lot. And today, just so you know, here's what we're going to do. We're going to learn the stats and the numbers behind client retention, why it matters in the first place. We're also going to talk about, again, why it matters to retain your clients, and also how to do it in a way that's not going to take all your time and that's not going to take all of your money. Because as a business owner, those are your two largest resources, your time and your money. So I want this to be an added solution to you and not something that's going to take all those up, right? Okay. So to get started, I want to start with Sonia, if you launch the poll for us, we're going to play a game and see what the room thinks about these couple of questions. Okay, cool. Poll is up. So humor me and just walk through kind of what you think about these stats as far as who can name their realtor after a couple of years, how many referrals people typically give, and then how many touches you need to stay top of mind with your clients.
Well, these are great questions, Camille, because man, I'm a host, so I can't answer these questions, but these are really, really good questions because there is power. And I think we're going to go into that to the post-close, right? A lot of us think about the beginning of the stages where we're showing the client, we're getting them into escrow, we are walking them through the whole process. And when we get to the finish line, we're tired, right? We're kind of like, we're exhausted through that whole process. So it's great to have this whole post-close strategy because this is the way we're going to stay top of mind to our people by making them feel important.
Absolutely. I like to think of it as we answer the poll. And as we finish up, don't worry, just answer whatever your heart tells you to. But I like to think about the happily ever after, right? A lot of the times we think about our clients and the closing table, almost like we get to the altar, we finish dating them, we're like there, we say our vows, we did business. And I'm here to talk to you about like what happens after that. Like, how do you continue dating that person throughout the relationship and afterwards? Because as any of you who are in a relationship or are married know, if you just stopped doing everything the day of your wedding, that would not go very well for you. So that's what today is all about.
Awesome.
Cool. Sonia, I don't know if I can't see if the poll has closed just because from my end, I know I can't vote.
I can end it now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, end it and then let's see what we got.
Do you see the results?
Oh, I keep coming in and out. Someone in the chat says I keep coming in and out.
Yeah, it happens a little bit. We've been hearing you for the most part.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
All right, here we go. Let's read these statistics. Go ahead.
Okay, hopefully it gets better. Let's see. The majority of the room feels that 22% of people can name their realtor after 2 years. People give on average 2 to 3 referrals and you need 12 touches a year. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to leave you hanging for the whole thing. Hopefully my internet resolves itself. If it doesn't in about 5 minutes, just let me know, y'all, and I'll see what I can do. But let's start with that first stat. So let's see what the actual statistics say. Let's start here. So here's some scary stats throughout sales in general as just all industries. So Forbes says that 68% of people feel that their salesperson is indifferent. They are not feeling the love. And that's not because people are doing things wrong or they're messing up, right? They just don't feel very loved. They feel transactional. 5% of people obviously has an increase in client retention there. That's huge leverage. That's why we are here today. And this is across every industry, but I want y'all to think about that. Like 5% puts almost 100% of your money back in your pocket. This is why we're here. And it is 5 times more expensive to get a new client than it is to retain a current one. So in real estate, the numbers get much scarier. So I know we answered 22% of people can name the realtor after 2 years. It's actually only 9%. And that's a big ouch, right? And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, Kamal, there's no way. My clients come back to me, like I put the magnet on the fridge. They said that they would or whatever. Across the industry though, like numbers don't lie, right? It's a little bit terrifying. And the even scarier number is that over 86% of people say that they would use their same realtor. But when it comes down to it and we actually look at the back end, only 12% do. Now in last year specifically, that number did go up a bit to 18%. So that's good, but that's still only 1 out of 5 people. So clearly in our industry, we have a huge gap in client retention and in like missing people, right? So again, these strategies are not going to cost time, your money, your 2 most valuable assets. Not going to leave you hanging for this whole time. I will tell you the answer to that second and third question right now. So over a lifetime, a client will typically give you 5 to 7 referrals over their lifetime. And as far as every year, you need 36 touches a year, according to Inman, to stay top of mind with your people. So what I want to point out to that, and I'll come back to those in a second, but what I want you to recognize is that it's oftentimes staying top of mind involves more effort than we think it does, right? Like if you think, okay, like I've talked to my client twice a year, like they remember me. According to the statistics, unless you're talking to your people 3 times a month, they're not really keeping you top of mind. So again, coming back to what we want to create, right? We want to create raving fans versus satisfied customers. So the people here on the left, they hear, or the people on the right, they hear real estate in a conversation, they just keep walking because they don't feel loved. The people on the left, they hear real estate in a conversation, they hear like a Zoom call with their family, anything, and they're like, oh my gosh, I need to tell you about my agent, Michael, right? Like, let me tell you everything about Michael. And they create like that raving fan feel because they're all about you, right? If you've ever watched a soccer game in Spanish, I want you to envision that what you're building with a client retention model is clients that are that excited about you. Like you are that goal that lasts on for like 4 minutes, right? Like that's what you want to create in your business, right? And it's really an ATM machine because that's what you're building in your business. When you are a realtor, when you are a lender, when you are a business person, you only own your clients and your relationships. So if you're just putting customers into your business, you put $0 in. Not to say that anyone's worthless, of course not. People are amazing. But if you want to build a residual business, you want to get to the point later on 5 years down the line where you sell your real estate business, whatever you want to do, you want it to be filled with raving fans so that it can continue to pay you after and more fun and more enjoyable. Cool.
Yeah, I want to chime in on that really quick. 5 times more, you guys, think about that in that mindset, right? So a lot of us, we do online ads, we do online leads, and that's fine. But remember, like what she's saying, there's leads, there's customers, and there's clients. I love how you break that down because I used to say the same thing to a lot of our agents. Is that a lead? Is that a prospect? Or is that a client, right? A lead is just someone that you have their number and you're just calling just to talk to them. A prospect is someone that you're actually kind of showing, but not sure if you're going to submit offers. And a client is someone that you close with. So I do believe there's so much power behind that. I was speaking to a realtor last couple of weeks ago, and she's not on social media. She doesn't have all this. However, her referral base is on fire. And why is exactly what you're talking about here is just being top of mind and creating that raving fan instead of that satisfied customer. So I love that you're mentioning this.
Yes. And I'm to real quick, gonna switch over. I'm gonna switch around my internet a little bit to see if it's a little bit better for y'all. So I will let you read this slide as we go through. But really, y'all, again, the only thing that you really own is your relationships because no one on this call owns Zillow. No one on this call owns Trulia. I mean, unless, shockingly you are and you're here just to experience my brilliance. But in this industry, oftentimes we often chase the new leads, the new transaction, the new thing when we already have a massive resource of our people, right? So again, back to that 5 to 7 referrals. If you're not top of mind, people on average, they know 5 to 10 realtors, okay? But they only retain 1 to 2 of them. So you have to be top of mind so that someone hears real estate and they thank you, right? So, okay. Michael, I know that you wanted to say something here.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about relationships and how that works, right? So
and I will hopefully.
Yeah, I'll take over here. So in regards to relationship, you think about this, the only key is your relationship here. And think about the time we spend with our clients, right? Especially now in today's market where we're submitting tons of offers, seeing tons of houses with them. That relationship in yourself is already built. Sometimes you built it with their kids as well. So if you think about it in that mindset, right? 5 times more expensive to find someone new than the old people that we have. And when you switch to new brokerage like Radius Agent Realty, those are always good times to actually reach out to your client, to let them know about your change, closing your transaction, newsletters, things of that magnitude is really great. So again, service is great, right? All of us can definitely open doors up. We can all definitely submit offers. But the one difference here is actually providing them the experience that they need to have it long lasting. After 17 years in my business, the other thing that you can do with your past clients is you can create what's called shadow audience within Facebook. So you can put in your database within Facebook, create shadow audience of people just like your clients too, to actually get more leads as well. So I think there's a lot of power in regards to the referral base versus kind of always going leads first, because like you said, it is easier to talk to a new person than to keep in touch with your other person. How are we doing over there, Camilla?
Oh no.
That works.
She's
Y'all
coming
can
back, you guys.
Am I back?
You are. Welcome
Okay.
back.
Great.
I just did your whole presentation, by the way.
Okay, sounds good.
We're
You're
good.
done. We're here. We're ready. Okay, cool. Let me pop this back on. And hopefully that's better for us. So again, in business, we have those two buckets. We have lead gen, we have goodwill, and you need both of them in your business. You don't want to rob one to build the other, because a business is only as good as its key employee and client relationship. So I hear this a ton, y'all, because I've been doing this 7 years, right? So I hear, Camilla, hey, I don't need any gifts. My service is my gift. Here's the thing, y'all. It is 2021. Anyone and everyone can jump on their phones and shout your name over the rooftops in a really good way and in a really bad way too. So giving great service is not a gift. It is a bottom line requirement. Like being a good agent, doing all the things that you have to get done and doing it in a great way, that's just bottom line. And I don't have to tell y'all how competitive right now our market is, right? We have to be going above and beyond. And I want y'all to think about how you really feel when you get something in the mail, whether you feel loved and appreciated and thought about, right? So I am going to go into the 7 keys right now and what you can spend. And again, it's not going to cost you a ton of time or your money, but I really want y'all to just internalize that. If you take one thing away from this, you spend so much time, so much money, and so much energy getting a client, creating that client relationships, and closing a transaction and following up. Doesn't it make sense? Yeah, that person uses you, refers you, and keeps you top of mind forever. Yes or yes, right? You're probably nodding your head. So here's my punchline and my philosophy. It's not my punchline because it's Patricia Fripp's, but Patricia Fripp says, it's not your client's job to remember you. It's your responsibility and your obligation to make sure that they never have the chance to forget you, okay? And that's it. It's your job. It's up to you. So as we go through the 7 keys, I'm going to challenge you because chances are you've heard some of these before. And here, I'm going to blow your mind away with information that you've never, ever, ever encountered. My challenge to you is 1, are you actually doing these things? And 2, do you have a system in place so that you don't need to think about it, right? Cool. So we're going to get into the how, right? And what do we owe our clients, right? You've heard me say it already like 4 times. So number 1, you have to call your people, okay? I am constantly amazed how many people do not have an organized CRM, client relationship management system, if you're new, and who don't call upon their most valuable resource. So I'll give you an example. So at 360 for us, when you become a client of ours, you do not become a number or a piece of data. You are a person with goals, trials, families, etc. And it's really a matter of how you approach your relationship. So my question to all of you is, are you calling your clients 2 to 4 times a year just to add value? Agenda-free calling, not to ask if they need a person in real estate, not to ask if they have fresh referrals for you, not to ask if who is looking to room now because the rates are super low, just to talk, just to check in. Okay. I talk about this a lot is how are you training your people to respond to your caller ID notification? Are you training your people that when they see your name pop up, they're like, oh, Michael's here to ask me for more referrals. Can't talk to him right now. Or are you training them to be like, oh my God, it's Michael. Like, I'm super excited. I wonder what's new with him. Like, and they're answering the phone excited to connect with you because they know that it's going to be a conversation, not just a real estate minded like opener, right? And we get so in our heads about this, right? I've met so many agents and I work with so many people that are like, Camilla, like, what do I even say, right? Like I have my phone, like, okay, I know I should call my people, but what do I say? Just say, hey, like treat it like any other relationship, right? Like I know, Michael, you and I have talked about this a lot. Like all you have to do is say hi and then say, hey, how have you been? How's everything? Cooked anything good lately? Like talk about the things that you have in common. If you have any of them, talk about things doing the Netflix show. It doesn't matter. The point is you're talking to them and you're actually building a relationship and building a connection instead of training them that when they see your phone number, it is just real estate and nothing else.
Right. And I like that you said that, because a lot of us do have that like sort of like category we put people in. He's a lead, he's a client, he's this or she's that. But in their mind, their mom, their wife, their brother, their sister, there's someone in there. And by gaining these relationships, there are gems in there that we can follow up on. Like Mother's Day was just happening. What a great way to just send out cards to all the moms you have in there, just show the gratitude. Birthdays are good evolutions or whatnot. So calling, to me, is so much more powerful than shooting a DM or texting. It's easy for us just to shoot a text, right? But to have a conversation, we have to realize that we're people first and then we're realtors. So remember to have a person conversation. I think that's what's the key to all this is talk. I remember when I first got into the business, I was always told to call my clients weekly to update them on this. And the guy used to say, just talk about hot dogs and beers. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like, just talk about the weather. Don't always talk about the business. They get it. You're a realtor and you're helping them, but don't forget the people part of this business. So I love that you mentioned call your person, not contact them, call them.
Yeah, absolutely. And y'all, again, even to the text point, how many people are actually even just texting their clients just to say, hey, have a great day today? Like it's about having that touch point. And again, 36 touches a year. I want y'all to think about that. That means 3 times a month. That means almost every single week someone needs to hear from you or think about you to keep you top of mind. Now, according to Forbes, 80% of your business comes from 20% of your clients. So the method is year after year, month after month, isolating those people and going even more above and beyond for them. So as we go through the next keys, I don't want y'all to get overwhelmed and think every single key is for every single client. Some of them might be for, and some might be just the top 5% of clients that you have or the top 15%. But in order to know that, the second key is to actually identify who those people are. You have to have a gold group identification. So how many people should be in your gold group? Well, I recommend starting with 25. But hear me out and bold this in your notes, circle it, star it, put it on your bathroom mirror. You have to write them down. They cannot just be floating in your head like, oh, I got them. I appreciate my people. Like, when? In your dreams? And I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but at the end of the day, if you just have something floating around in your head, how many of us say, yeah, I'm going to do the laundry? And then I'm going to do the laundry, unless we actually write it down or we have a plan, or we're like, Tuesday morning, I'm getting up and I'm doing laundry and then I'm doing XYZ. If it's just floating around, that becomes like one of those endless to-do lists that never actually gets done because we're consistently thinking about doing it, but we're not actually doing it. So one of your gold group people might be a prospect. Maybe it's a key person that you want to partner with that you know would increase your business dramatically. Maybe it's a builder or insurance partner or a lender. I'm sure some of you have, and plenty of you have, a lender that you know that you're like, oh my gosh, if I partnered with them, my business would skyrocket. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business or who should be there exactly, but I can tell you that a long-term retention model has to have this. Right. So you can have different qualifiers for them. You can have, how many referrals have I gotten this person? Or, to be completely honest, some of you might be like, I just really like this person. And I know that they're super connected in their community. And I just really enjoy them as a human being. I want to appreciate them at a higher level. Whatever it is, you have to identify this in 3 places. Number 1, your CRM. Like we talked about, you have to put it in your CRM. You have to mark it, because imagine if you want to send like a thank you card, or if you want to do anything, if you actually have it in your CRM and you can just look up the tag like gold or whatever your tag is, Michael's VIPs or whatever. You go in there, boom, bam, then you're done. You can do that much more effectively because you actually have a breakdown. And then when you talk to people on the phone, hey, this person's a golden person of mine. Okay, second of all, you have to put it on Facebook. If you're on Facebook and you actively use Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, put it on Instagram. I don't know, put it on TikTok, or put it in your address book if you don't have it. But make a list of those people that you have wherever you interact with people online. Now, the reason most people don't do this is because there's no equation for ROI. I cannot tell you, hey, Michael, if you leave a comment on this person's, Facebook post about their daughter graduating high school, you're going to get $1.4 million in business in approximately 16 months. And as people in this industry, as real estate professionals, we think all the time, like, okay, but what's the ROI? Like, what am I going to get? What's tangible? What do I know for sure? We don't have that when it comes to something like connecting with people over social media. What I can tell you, though, is that it's a lot easier to remain top of mind when you are actively commenting on people and It's so much easier to call someone and say, hey, Michael, I just saw, that you went to a sanctuary with your family over the weekend. Like, how was that? Tell me all about it. And then we can connect and have a conversation because I actually have something to talk about. Yeah. Cool. And then the last place that you want to put it down is in your heart. And for as hard hitting as I can be, I know some of you are like, okay, that's really cheesy, Camilla, but you do have to internalize gratitude, right? I want you to look around your house and I want you to make the connection that your clients, your people that have chosen to work with you and build a client business person relationship are the reason you get to do all the things and have all the things that you have. Just like my clients allow me to live the life I have, your clients do the same. Without your clients, there is no car, there is no house, there is no insert. So unless you truly feel that, you're like, oh my gosh, like this person, these people, they're not just numbers. They're not just like, bullet points of I have to appreciate this person. This person lets me live my life. It gets way easier to do the small admin stuff that we don't want to do, like going into Facebook and finding all of our clients and putting them on a specific list so that we can go interact with them specifically, right? Like that's a small admin thing that's annoying. But when we have that gratitude at the forefront, we're like, hey, I just want to know these people more. I want to appreciate these people more. It's way easier to get into the headspace and actually get that stuff done versus looking at it and being like, oh my gosh, like, I just really don't want to do it.
I like that you mentioned referral partners. I think that's a huge part of the business. I have a philosophy, it's called the 30-30-30-10, right? So what that means is 30% of your business should come from who you are as a person, right? Whatever you are, your authentic self is 30% of that really should come from where you are. The other 30% should come from the opportunities that your company brings you, such as like Zillow Flex or Radius leads or so on and so forth. But the other 30% is going to come from business partners, teaming up with attorneys, teaming up with probate people, teaming up with lenders, so on and so forth, to help build your business. But in regards to that, it's like, yeah, taking them out to lunch, taking them out to coffee, appreciating them for that deal that they're closing. I think that's super, super important to add that business to business referrals in your arsenal, because I think that's really, really huge. Because again, a referral is so much better than a lead. I mean, people are calling you, right? We go from being outbound agents, meaning agents that are making cold calls and calling our leads, to now inbound agents, knowing that when the phone rings, people are actually calling to talk to me. So that's what I think there's a power behind leads and referrals, is that the fact of the matter is once you get a referral, your phone rings versus you ringing someone else's phone.
Yeah, absolutely. So that leads me to my next point, which is you have to customize, right? You have to actually know people in order. Oh, no. The third key in my computer is like, let's move on. I want you to think about what's everyone's favorite thing to talk about? Me. Okay, not me though, but themselves, right? I wish. So how do you find out stuff about people? Well, you have to ask them, right? So if you send an about you form to your clients, then you know more things about them. So why do I ask my people for their t-shirt size? Well, so that when I send them a t-shirt in the mail, I know what size of t-shirt to buy them. Why do I ask them if they have an Apple or an Android? So that if I send them a charger that says, hey, as a reminder, I've always got you powered up when it comes to your client retention, they know that, I actually know what device they're using. So I don't send them useless things, right? Their charities, their hobbies. If you find out what your people like to do and you can do it with them, business gets a lot more fun, y'all. So I'll give you an example. So like I am huge about mojitos. Okay. I love mojitos. It's my favorite cocktail in the whole world. So I'm always down for a mojito. And so I do this thing with my business partner, my best friend, Danica, where we go mojito hopping. So now of my clients that A, like cocktails, so they know good places for cocktails, or B, the people that also have just expressed like, yeah, I like mojitos too. So when we go out and we build these relationships, I can text people and I can tell you that, Jody in San Jose, like she loves mojitos too. So we went to go get mojitos and we brought her along with us, and it's exciting and fun because people get to enjoy that. And then you get to build a relationship on things that you like to do together. So imagine all your hobbies. There's probably clients that you have that share those hobbies. Two of my clients really enjoy reading the same type of books that I enjoy reading. So now we share book recommendations. I just sent one of my clients a book last month, just randomly, because it had her name in it. Her name is Grace. So I sent her a book called The Grace Year because I knew that she would like it. And she texted me back and was like, oh my gosh, I love this book. Check your mailbox. And I opened my mailbox and I found a book for me. Now, did I do it to get a book out of it? No. It was just like a nice surprise. But imagine the like depth of relationship that I now have with Grace when it's built on things that. So how does it work in everyday practice? You're like, okay, Camilla, but how do I like non-stalkerly? Like, I am not telling you to go through someone's Facebook page and just like stalk everything about them to learn about them. That's not what I'm saying. But you can literally just send the following text. Hey, I think you're really awesome. I value you as a client. I value you as a friend. Can you fill this form out me so I can send you some cool stuff? That's it. And then you send them about you form that asks them all those questions that I just said, spouse, birthday, that sort of thing. And then you already know this information. So when you're scrolling through, and it'll help you too, because imagine there's probably clients of yours that don't drink alcohol. You don't want to spend money to send everybody champagne or to show up at their house. Imagine, I know that y'all think, oh, this would never happen, but I've had people where they've had this happen. They show up to a doorstep with champagne. They have horror stories and they're like, hey, I just wanted to pop by and hang out, or I brought a nice bottle of wine. And then that person's like, oh, you know, I'm LDS, or I'm sober, or, you know, whatever. And then you're just standing there on their porch holding a bottle of wine. You do not want that in your life, right? So if you know this up front, like if you ask one of my clients, Soul, what is the drink that you would take in the whole wide world? Her favorite drink, she'll always tell you, is just like oat milk vanilla latte. That's it. So I'm not going to go, you know, be like, hey, Soul, you know, like, let's grab whatever. I'm going to show up with an oat milk vanilla latte. So that's my point, y'all, is that you have to know these things so that you know them. And then when they're in a spreadsheet, it's so much easier, because then you are like, hey, I want to send something to this person. Let me just scroll through and see what they like and then pick something accordingly. Yeah. So you can send someone a custom jersey. Again, not for every single person. I'm not telling you to buy jerseys for everybody. I'm just saying if they're passionate about it and you want to send something really high level, you could send them a sticker in the mail. Like I have best day of my life stickers that I send out. And I'm like, hey, Michael, you know, the best day of my life was the day you and I connected. I hope you have an awesome week. Like, think about how someone feels when they open that. They're like, oh my God. And it's a sticker, y'all. It's a sticker. That's it.
Yeah,
right.
You know what it is? It's the fact, you know, so when I started doing gifts, you're so right. I was doing the traditional, here's a champagne bottle, here's this. And then I got that like, oh, I don't drink champagne, I don't do this. And I was just kind of doing the standard real estate gifts at the end. But then when I started really customizing my gifts, like today I have a closing, for example, right? And this lady done so much today. So what I'm going to do is like, I don't really do this too much, but I maybe I should. But for her, you know, she's been working DoorDash 7 days a week, 12 hours a day just to get it done. All her pennies, you know, piggy banks, so on and so forth. So I want to make it a spectacle. So I'm getting balloons. I'm getting a welcome home thing. I'm making an experience for her to kind of felt like, yeah, this is why I did it, instead of just giving her the keys, right? Because I know for her, working so hard for that, a bottle of champagne is not going to do it. She's going to be like, oh, that's great. I can buy my own champagne. But an experience of showing her how great she did during this transaction, how hard she worked for that, is the way I customized my closing gift for her. So for me, it was more about building the experience and not really getting the gifts, but just making her feel that she worked hard for it and that she deserved what she's getting today.
Right. Totally. And you want to send someone, you know, cool customized things. And again, these are back ends. These are after happily ever after. This is not, you know, during closings. I'm not talking about closing gifts. I'm talking specifically about after the happily ever after. And it's not about the size of the gesture. I really want you to internalize. It's about the fact that you chose to do it in the first place, because most people just at the end of the day won't. Right. All right. Next.
Well, I like what Rick just said. I like what Rick just said in the chat. He goes, I think it's awesome that my clients actually give me gifts.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Like, that's even that much better, right?
Exactly.
That's good job, Rick.
I love it. Oh, and Karen, I just saw that you have a question. I actually have the form that I will send out to you. I'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, it's just general questions. Hey, you know, do you have pets? Do they have birthdays? Some people are really intense about their pets, y'all. You know, your birthday, your anniversary. Do you have kids? What do you like to do? What are your favorite hobbies? Do you like to watch movies? If so, what's your favorite movie? That sort of thing. What's your favorite drink, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, Joseph, I will give you the form. So the next key is to be a connector, because now more than ever, people need help. Things will happen. Things will break. I just thought about this today because my computer broke yesterday. So I am like, okay, cool. Time to, you know, go to my Apple homie expert wizard for people to do that and be a local referral guy, right? So if you're in a networking group of any kind, that's powerful because you know who's who around your community. Okay. And I'm constantly talking to my clients, not to sell them gifts, because of course that's what I do, but to see what they need, right? Because if you help someone solve a problem that's related to what you do, you're great at what you do. So all the real estate questions, yes, you can be a real estate expert, exciting, awesome. But if you help someone solve a problem beyond your profession, you become a hero, whether that's a big problem or that's a large problem. So you become really valuable, and you want to give referrals for things, not just obviously in the presentation, but in life, right? Not just in real estate, what they have going on. You actually keep up with your clients, and you know someone's looking for, a cleaner or a plumber or a babysitter, and you're like, oh, I know someone that does this, et cetera, et cetera. That is really powerful. So if you know the best sushi, the best chiropractor, et cetera, and not just know it, but you keep it organized somewhere so you can give it to your clients, that holds weight. Imagine walking into your next listing presentation and having a brochure or literally just a spreadsheet that's printed out that says, hey, I'm not just the real estate expert in this city. I am the expert in this city. So know that when you work with me, I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to connect you to, and then you slide across a piece of paper that has all of these things. Think about the power that you hold in that and how someone would feel knowing that you are going to help them across their whole life, not just a segment of it.
Yeah, I like that a lot, because if you think about it, especially nowadays, people are moving away from what they know, right? Especially like someone like yourself, you just moved to Texas, for example, right? And there's an agent out there that provides something at the end where it's like, here, look at, this is all the local places. But not only that, think about the helping them, switch their power to the right companies, find them the cable services that they need, so on and so forth. There's so much instant referrals that you can give right at closing. And even still, like I got a phone call just 2 months ago that I was able to refer my handyman to my client because their plumbing pipes blew up. And now that's their handyman. They love each other. They're doing more projects. They're adding an addition to the house. So it's so great to be that connected, because again, showing them not only that you can be a real estate person, like you said, but an expert in your neighborhood, that's super powerful. I love that you mentioned this.
100%. And I switched back to the last slide because someone asked me, hopefully you have taken a picture of it. The next key, y'all, is to never eat lunch alone. Now, given our current world, you're like, what? But hear me out. So I drive all over California. I drive over Texas as well. I have definitely eaten lunch alone many a time, with probably between my knees as I park in a parking lot to eat lunch real quick. And I know that that's on the go for a lot of people. 2 times a month is all that you need. So just write that down. Never eat lunch alone 2 times a month. So if you have 25 people on your gold group list, 2 times a month is 24 times a year, which means you can effectively have lunch 1 time a year with every single one of your gold group people. So you're taking your top clients or your top prospects out to lunch. Now, some of you might say, oh my God, I do not have the budget for that. I do not have the budget for 25 lunches this year. That's okay. I get that because I've been there. I've built a business from scratch multiple times. So just do coffee, right? And right now that we're in lockdown, look at what we're doing right now. You're here on a webinar. We've been on Zoom all the time. You can call someone and say, hey, Michael, was just thinking about you. I wanted to catch up. Can we schedule a quick Zoom call or a FaceTime? And then if you really want to go above and beyond, you're like, I really want to just like appreciate this person at a super high level, or this business partner, or whatever. You can DoorDash food to their house. Like, what does it take to spend $25 on DoorDash and get food over to a lender that is super swamped right now and you want to get in front of? How many people take the time to do 5 minutes of research on Facebook to look at what they ordered last week off DoorDash and just deliver it to their office? And right now we have less costs in certain areas of our business than we've ever had before. So, there's potentially some room for some client retention income that you can divert to that to specifically be like, okay, cool. And again, like it says in this slide, what's $7 of coffee and 30 minutes of your time going to be worth in 48 months when they're like, hey, that time that we, grab coffee, blah, blah, blah. I have this person, she's super excited. She wants to sell her house. And all of a sudden you have that because that relationship was built in the first place. So again, you just call them up and say, hey, I'm eating alone. I don't want to eat alone tomorrow. Let's grab a call. And even just the phone call itself stands out. Even if you can't coordinate lunch on Zoom or whatever, doing something that cool, like taking that step to ask someone out to lunch virtually, makes them feel appreciated.
Yeah, and I think that is so powerful. That saying, breaking bread, right? Like breaking bread is not only that, you're breaking conversations, you're building relationships. You and I broke bread when we met a month ago. I think we spent like 2 hours at the cafe just having, conversations, not only about this presentation, just about life in itself. And there's so much power when you put, some food and a nice drink and some good people together. There's a lot of power behind that. So, a lot of the networking that I used to do when you're able to meet, I just do that, I used to go to a networking event on Thursday, make my calls on Friday for my coffee meetings the next week. And that's how I built my relationship. And over 17 years, a lot of these people I didn't do business with, you're right, you know, because it didn't work out. However, they became my friend. So not only was I able to gain some business partners out of there, gain some clients out of there, but more importantly, I have a lot of friends like that. You know, when we go to networking things, people are like, you know everybody. I'm like, well, I had coffee with them like 7 years ago. But yeah, that's a great way of doing it, especially now that vaccines are out and they have more things. Encourage you to put aside $50 a week on a budget for lunch.
Yeah. And even if you just, like I said, even if you just did it virtually, even if you just hung out on Zoom and did it, like imagine if you have an out-of-state referral and you're like, I can't go grab lunch with that person. No, but you can meet them on FaceTime and you can just hang out with that person and just be like, hey, cool, I want to get to know you, or I want to send you, whatever it is, just the fact that you're taking the time to do it. So easiest day in the world to make someone feel loved is their birthday. So if you want to get people excited, you appreciate them on their birthday. So here's some ideas, like some low ticket ideas. You can send tinylovecards.com. You can send them a book. You can send them stickers, like I mentioned. If you don't have time for any of that, you're like, oh my God, Camilla, I'm so swamped as it is. I don't have time to be mailing stuff for everyone's birthday. Okay, use social media, but do not write on people's walls, because that gets blended in with every single buddy that writes on their wall, right? Not saying it's not appreciated, but Facebook lumps them all together. So don't do that. So you can hit message on Facebook and just type a quick happy birthday, or you can grab your phone, hit record, and record them a video message. And if you're terrified of video, I guarantee that you're on, I've definitely been on video, you look great, whatever it is. And it's as simple as, here's what I send people for their birthday. I just press go and I say, hey, Michael, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, buddy. I just wanted to say that whether you're working all day, you're playing all day, somewhere in between, I hope that you get some time today to really appreciate everything that you are and everything that you bring to this world. I appreciate you as a client and as a friend, and I really look forward to the next time we connect. Make today awesome. That's it. It takes me like 15, 20 seconds. I press send on the text or the Facebook Messenger and it's done, right? And people are like, oh my gosh, Camilla, like you took the time to send me. Who nowadays, my family doesn't even call me for my birthday, right? So the fact that you get a video of someone and they're like, wow, like my realtor took the time to like text me on my birthday with a video, like that's so awesome, right? And again, when it comes to sending stuff to people, there's an unlimited amount of stuff that you can send, but that keyword that you keep hearing is systems, right? So I'm not saying just like do this. So you can handle this a variety of different ways. You can put it all on Facebook. You can make Facebook populate into your calendar so you know people's birthdays there. I personally like ask my clients when I'm on the phone with them, hey, what's your birthday? And I write it down so that I can keep it. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Rafa. You just sent a resource for us in the chat. Definitely check that out. I have it written down of their birthdays, and then I put it into my CRM to call that person on their birthday. I just create an action flow in my CRM. So on that person's birthday, I get a thing that says, hey, send, Susan a happy birthday video. And then I do that. Now I do want to have a caveat here. Here's where knowing your clients is really important. If you have Jehovah's Witness clients, they are not going to appreciate this. So know your people so that you know that if you have one of your clients, they don't want a birthday text from you, but they might like an anniversary text of, hey, 1 year ago today, we met and we did business together. Super excited to be your friend, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But again, you want to be aware of who people are and, what their life looks like so that you can appreciate them accordingly. So as far as systems go, I'm going to share real quick, like our gifting systems. Again, if there was something else to be doing, I would do that. But when it comes to systems, like I want y'all to imagine that your closing gift systems can be one of those things that you have organized, right? Our company is family owned, US made, all those things. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I will get you info one-on-one if you want it. But bottom line, it's 100% tax deductible. You're already spending money on these things. You can shift that expense to something else that you can actually deduct. And people ask me all the time, hey, Camilla, how's the knife business? And we are packed. We are busier than ever. And part of that is because no one's ever been cooking as much as they are right now. And obviously a lot of people are taking advantage of drop shipping and all of those things. So the reason that I mention this is because I'm a huge fan of Cutco and I'm a huge fan of appreciating people and of free stuff, if you can't tell. So I've actually brought today for you a raffle of a free Cutco just for you because you're here on this call, you're present. You're watching this live. So I recognize that you're here to improve your businesses. Go ahead and send me a text. My number is literally right there on the screen. All you have to send me is your name and your email, and I will send one of you some free Cutco. just for doing that. That's all you have to do. Now, if you do want more info and you want to talk to me, you can definitely like let me know, but just put your name and email.
I like that you did that. So everyone right now, go ahead and text Camille your name and your email. Let's get this raffle going for you guys in regards to getting this free cuckold gift. But I want to go back to what you had mentioned in regards to the previous slide in regards to having a closing gift system, because I think that's super important to have. Because again, like I've seen people like literally have trunks of just like swag bags. I remember when we used to do like Popeyes. Remember Popeyes? When you just used to just pop your trunk open and then go to someone's like a desk and just drop them off a little gift and things of that magnitude. But the one thing I do want to mention is like I want to share something after, you know, everyone gets the text message going, is that is to have a good system, but don't be so annoying at the same time, right? Like we want to make sure we're touching the great points in regards to, you know, contacting our clients and be methodical about it. Like you mentioned, like we can't send everyone just Christmas cards. We can't send everyone just certain things. You're going to have to get a little bit detailed. So I'm glad you're going to be able to share that sheet, correct, on regards to like all the different touch points that we can have.
Yeah, totally. So I will actually, in that thread, since you now have my cell phone number, go ahead. If you want the form, the About You form, just add that in our conversation now. Just say, hey, send me the About You form. Since I have your email, I'll go ahead and just email it to you directly, because I'm just like really big on rewarding people that are, you know, taking the action and paying attention. So yeah, as Michael said, it's important to know that you're going to be high level for some people, and for some people, you're going to have pretty standardized things, and that's okay, because your business is about building systems, and your business is about taking the strain off of you. So if you have these things in place and you're organized, it gets much, much easier to do, you know, what people see as random appreciation, but what you know is actually planned.
Right. And I like what Rafa said, like Rafa had mentioned, Rafa had mentioned using a system called Vidyard, and I think that's super important. I've been using the system called BombBomb and Loom. So, you know, whatever works best for you guys. And I think it's super powerful because when you're sending a video, I think it's super important to do that, you know, because people now will acknowledge that. Not only that, they respond off it. So I think video marketing is important just as much as sending a text. So like Camilla said, whatever way works best for you, make it that way.
Yeah.
How's the people coming along?
Yeah, good. So I have all the text rolling in. I'm going to run this raffle for y'all later today, but I want to end on this, y'all, is really, what are you building? Because the people who take action now are the people that are rewarded later. And I want you to think about the fact that you can go to all the webinars in the world. You can watch every single thing that's out there or read every book. But if you don't take action on these things, nothing matters. So for those of you that are my note takers, you know, some of you are going to rewatch this. That's okay. But I want you to like look at your notes whenever and look at the keys and just pick one thing. Just pick one thing that you're going to do today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, one thing. For some of you, that's literally just opening up your CRM that you haven't opened up in a while. For others of you, it's actually organizing your gold group. Some of you might be like, okay, cool. How do I organize birthdays? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, but just do it, right? Just put down one thing and take it one step at a time. If you did just that one thing once a month, in 7 months, your client retention model would look vastly different. Right. And I think that that's really vital for you all to have. And I always wrap with my favorite Maya Angelou quote is that at the end of the day, people are not going to remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel. And I really do believe in the power and the importance of investing in our relationships, because I'm a firm believer that when we do, we can start to move our industry away from those stereotypes that people have about realtors into something where people feel appreciated and they know you're not just there to sign DocuSign forms and make a lot of money. You're there because you're providing an integral part of their world and of their life. So I super appreciate the time today, and I hope y'all got a lot out of it. And I'm super pumped for y'all to take this and build client retention models and crush it.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys, thank you guys for attending today. Want to suggest a couple books that you guys can read. I'm always want to make sure we add some value for you guys as well in regards to just us having this conversation. So I think we all know about that solid book, easy to read, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's probably like one of the first books I ever read. So I think that's a pretty powerful book. There's a book called Giftology as well. That's another good book that you can actually read too. And there is a book that's actually called Never Eat Alone. So I really like that she had mentioned that too. So those are 3 things that I think you could talk about. Again, you know, how to win friends and influence people. I think that's super important. Giftology, a different way of giving out gifts. And then last but not least, Never Eat Alone. So thank you guys for attending today's Radius event, our Tuesday talks. If you have any questions about Radius, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you guys about Radius and how you can join our brokerage. And Camilla, can you give them your handle and how they can get a hold of you? And maybe, do you have a consultation on how to give out proper gifts to people?
You muted yourself halfway through your sentence.
Oops. So do you have a consultation to help individuals when they for these closing gifts?
Yeah, totally. So if you want to connect, you have my phone number. So just let me know that you want to connect and I'll get you info one-on-one. You can always reach out to me with questions. You want to chat more, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want. I'm there. You can hit me up. Instagram, I'm funnier than I am on Facebook. So, fair warning, if you like to laugh, find me there. But yeah, I'm happy to do a free consultation with any of you that want to talk about, systematizing your gifts to make your business run smoother and more efficient. And then you get to laugh at me as a byproduct. So yeah, everyone wins.
All right, awesome. We're going to bring Sonia back in to close us out here.
All right. Thank you so much, Camilla. I think you've earned your title of strategic gifter well. I learned a lot. And I think Michael summarized it well. The only thing I'll add is, all of this comes down to organizing yourself and just making sure you have some system, whatever that system is. So I hope everyone takes that away. And we're so happy you all joined. Thank you so much for being here. I just shared a few links in chat. Please definitely reach out if you would like to know more about the brokerage, about realty. We have some incredible partners that we work with, and we're excited to get you organized and to help you build your brand so you can look great for your clients. So again, thank you all so much for joining. We'll share the materials after the event. Thank you so much. Thanks, Camilla. Thanks, Michael.
All right, you guys. Peace, love, and real estate. Stay blessed.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.